Hello Internet, my name is Hazel from Hazelnuttygames and it's almost Saturday, so welcome to vlog time. We had a lot happen this week. First things first, I want to touch on the changes to Twitch that caused a big kerfuffle on the internet. To sum up, Twitch has implemented audio copyright protection much similar to what's used on YouTube. It only applies to video on demand. It does not apply to live broadcast, and what it does is it mutes your video on demand if it decides that you have copyright audio in it. The other thing was they were removing the ability to permanently save old broadcasts just as is. You now have to highlight them in order to permanently save them. They tried to impose a 2-hour time limit to those permanently saved highlights, but then the speedrun community flipped it and threw rotten fruit at them, and they have since revoked that statement, and you can now save indefinitely length highlights again. So, that's the thing. Everybody kind of lost their shit. Basically, as far as I'm concerned, it's not good, but it's not as bad as it could have been. I understand why it had to happen. I do think it could have been handled better. Obviously, copyright law is not something you want to mess around with. If Twitch got hit with like a really major lawsuit from RIAA or any other music industry publishing company with a lot of money, they could very easily sink. They're big, but they're not that big. And it's best that they protect themselves against this kind of thing before it becomes a problem, especially now with them getting so big. I do think that the muting audio on a VOD in 30-minute chunks is ridiculous, but they've stated intent that they want to make that tool better and make it narrow the muting period at some point. They've also implemented an appeal system, so if you think your video on demand has been incorrectly flagged, there's going to be an appeal button that you can use to try and get it back with sound if you did not have any copyright sound in it. This may mean that there's a lot less people running their Pandora or Spotify while streaming, and honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm usually more interested in the streamer themselves anyways. And that was despite what people say, that was very illegal. So that's that. If they ever do move to more aggressively policing live broadcasts, that may become more of a problem, but again, so long as they're just sticking to licensed music and they're not going to freak out too much over things like in-game soundtracks, then we will be mostly alright. The system has been flagging some videos for in-game soundtrack, but that has been stated to be incorrect and they are trying to fix that, so all in good time. As far as how this affects me on Twitch, no, I'm not leaving Twitch. I will if they screw up badly enough, but I stream like once a week anyways, so yeah, no changes there, and honestly, we didn't really use video on demand that much anyways. Live content is a much better format for that, and I'm of the opinion that if there's any Twitch streamer, myself included, that wants to have highlights and video on demand content, you're much better just recording it locally and then editing it and uploading it to YouTube. So that is that. In Warcraft news, in the beta, I finally got my pets and account data copied over so I can access all my battle pets on the beta. I'm so happy. I missed all my babies. Now I can actually test all of the pet content that is available on the beta, which isn't that much right now, but I'm doing it as we go. I got the Christopher Fiesel guide up, so there's a new Darkmoon fight that you can take a look at and get all ready for. There's going to be a extra special spotlight on the Alec plushie pet that's going to go up tomorrow on Saturday. And I'm sure there's more stuff that I can find that we will be able to make some videos for, so super excited about that. There has been a vendor found that is rumored to sell the Alliance chopper. They announced that the Alliance chopper from the Azeroth choppers thing is going to be put into the game on a vendor for a price, and it looks like that price might be 100,000 gold. So there's been a lot of really mixed reactions from the community on this. I'm actually kind of happy, because if I end up playing Alliance, I would rather farm up 100k, which I'm assuming isn't going to be that bad if there's some inflation. I would rather farm up 100k and buy a mount that not everybody has than be Horde and have a mount that everybody has. It's like when the Headless Horseman's mount became super popular that one year and then everybody had them, they weren't cool anymore. So I think the Alliance chopper is going to be a little bit more rare to see, and I think that is going to make it better. So it's a ridiculous price, but I'm happy with it. I had the family last weekend, so that happened since the last time that we talked. That was fantastic. We went to Portland. We did some Portlandy stuff. I ate at a bunch of places that I'd never eaten before. Anyways, it was really fun. It was very hot. They weren't used to how hot this house gets in the summer because we don't have AC here, and this house kind of holds heat really well. Basically, it's not very well insulated, so in the summer it gets really hot and it stays really hot, and then in the winter it gets really cold and it stays really cold. And it's really hard to move air through here, so they were dying like a little bit. but that's okay. We saw some movies to try and get out of the house, especially during the hottest part of the day. We went to see Guardians of the Galaxy, which was fantastic. I was really skeptical about it because I didn't know anything about it. I wasn't familiar with the comics. The trailer made it look kind of silly because, I mean, raccoon, it's a talking raccoon. But the talking raccoon was hilarious, and the movie was wonderful, and you should definitely go see it. Later this week, I had a bit of an ant adventure. Our dog food usually is kept in bowls on like this plastic tray, kind of like right around there-ish. And that's, of course, for these guys to munch throughout the day. And we keep this room pretty clean, and we vacuum weekly, and we've never really had, like, we have bug problems, but it's mostly because the screens on the windows and the door aren't solid, so you usually get flying bugs in here. But we've never really had a major ant problem. But one morning last week, I wake up and I notice that there's like a parade, like a literal parade of ants along the baseboard, and they're going into the dog food, and they've discovered that this is just the best thing in the world. And they're not carrying like kibble back with them, but they're carrying something. They were very excited about that dog food, and that was very cool and really gross. So I ended up moving the food and getting some ant poison, and it was just like a fiasco of a morning. I had the vacuum out, and I was like sucking up every ant that I could see and feeling all like genocidal and evil. And then I looked in the vacuum, and they're all just crawling around inside of the vacuum because it didn't even kill them. So I ended up like putting the vacuum just outside, and then we got the ant poison. So that threw me off for about a day. My husband came home from work with some ant poison like around lunchtime just to set out to make me feel better about it. And he also picked me up while he was out a little mini, like $6 from the bookstore, a little mini bonsai kit to take my mind off it. And that sparked a thing of all of its own. So I got this, and I was very, very excited. I'm starting to come to terms with the fact that I really like trees. If there was a fandom for trees, I would be all over it. All of my favorite art depicts various trees. I've got the big tree tattoo. My other tattoo is a maple leaf. And I kind of want more tree tattoos. I want to vary it up, but trees are just so cool. This is totally random, but I happen to be drinking out of the tree mug. I painted this just in case anybody was curious. That's why the paint job looks horrible. But, yeah, trees are just the bomb. And I thought, and like the idea of having like a little mini bonsai of my own was just the coolest thing in the world. So I did some research on this kit, and it's basically trash. It comes with some jack pine seeds, which are a terrible bonsai tree for beginners. It comes with a little book that has like 30 pages of general information about bonsai not related to this kit, and then 2 pages of how to plant these seeds that we gave you. And then you get like a little teeny tiny bonsai pot and a peat pellet, and there were some scissors in here too. Some little teeny tiny bonsai scissors. So the idea with those seeds is that you soak them for a day, which I did. You stratify them, which means you put them in the fridge with some paper towels and like a bag, damp, and then you leave them for like a week or so. And then we plant them in a little peat pellet, and hopefully we get a little tree. From what I've read online about bonsai trees, there's almost no way that the plant that this is going to produce is going to be anything like a bonsai tree. I did a bunch of research, and I got kind of addicted to reading about them because they're so cool, and looking at all the pictures, that the best way to do it is to grow one outside in a bigger container until it gets a little bigger, and then you chop it off and start shaping it. But I don't care. This was a present, and I'm really happy, and I'm going to do my best to make it live. I really want it to live, so the seeds are stratifying my fridge right now. I'll get to plant them next week. I'm kind of blogging about this whole process. I'm sort of chronicling it on Tumblr, of all places. I wanted to have a place to take pictures and just write about it because I'm very excited and I want to share it with nobody because nobody's going to read that. But very excited. And so I've cleaned up my Tumblr. It's hazelnuttygames.tumblr.com. I don't really get Tumblr. I was looking at different blog options, and the only reason I went with Tumblr was because I already had one, and because I already had one. I don't really understand how other people use it. There's something about reblogging. The comments are really weird. And there's like people that think they're animals. I don't know. But in any case, I'm just going to take pictures of my trees. And yeah, I can't wait. I do think that I want to try with like a real bonsai tree. Like maybe get a cutting of a regular plant and then try to shape it into a bonsai. But I would probably do that in the spring, because supposedly that's a better season for them. So I'm going to do the best with what I have for this. So, that's what happened this week. I feel like I forgot something because it was a very busy week, but we'll just move right on. If I miss something, we'll get to it next week, and that's okay. Question time. From Skaterbun. What Steam level are you? Have you put any work into collecting badges? And if so, any particular reason you have worked on those badges? So, when Steam came out with this whole Steam level thing, it's fairly visually obvious that this is an extremely clever marketing scheme to make people buy more games, obviously, because your Steam level and your Steam badge doesn't mean anything, but it's a collection, and gamers, particularly gamers that use Steam a lot, love collecting stuff. They love internet swag, and honestly, who doesn't? I do too. But I have tried my best to resist temptation to do that. I get any trading cards that I get from games, I'll typically sell them on the market. I'll make my 20 cents, and then I'll just have that in my Steam wallet until one day I buy another game. The only badge that I ever did was, I think I crafted a Don't Starve badge because I loved Don't Starve so much that I wanted the Don't Starve background and like swag for my Steam profile. And I think that was the only one I ever did, and I don't think I'm going to do any again, unless they add like more incentives for it, but I doubt it. As far as what Steam level I am, that is an excellent question. I don't know. I will look it up after I'm done recording this and then throw an annotation up there because I do not remember, like, 2, 3, 2, something like that. Alright. Question from Dorky Wow Girl. Could you possibly do a gaming setup video or a room tour? I totally get where you're coming from with wanting to see stuff like that. Stuff like that fascinates me when other people do it. I would love to, especially like with my gaming setup. I would love nothing more than to take a camera and look at all of my stuff that I've set up here and then talk way too long about it because I love consumer tech. I love that I have a hobby that lets me use it. And I have put a lot of thought into every piece that I've picked out for this setup and how I've got them all working together. So I'm really excited about that. I'd love to do a video to share it with everybody, but the problem is that I don't have a video camera. I have a point-and-shoot digital camera, which can take short videos. I have an iPhone, which actually takes reasonably good video, but I don't have like a camcorder, which I would want to do to make like a higher quality video. The other problem with that is like the microphone, for example, on the iPhone when doing videos like that is not so good. And yeah, so there's a couple different ways I can do that. I would like to. I'm either going to do it in the future when I eventually, because I will get a camcorder for things like conventions, or I will record it with one of the cameras I have and then voice it over after the fact on my actual microphone, because if there's anything I can't stand, it's bad audio. So I would love to do both of those things, but not yet because I'm missing some equipment, but we'll make it happen one day. And from Good Guy Pro, do you only play games on Steam or do you have other systems? So I'm assuming you're talking about like PC versus console, stuff like that. As far as PC games, Steam obviously, and then Blizzard games aren't really on Steam, but they work through my Blizzard launcher, which is basically the same thing as far as I'm concerned. Yes, other systems. I have, of course, tried games in a variety of systems at friends' places. I now own an Xbox and a PS3 based on the fact that I married someone who had them already. But I can't say I played them. I played Journey on the PS3 because I really wanted to try it and everybody had been talking about it. But I can't get into console games, like, generally. Like, I'll be on the couch and I'll be playing and I get bored. I'm too used to having a bunch of monitors with other stuff going on while I'm gaming. And I just can't really do the console thing anymore. The exception to that is my Wii U. My Wii U is my console, the one that I bought. And I love Nintendo games. I use it for Zelda. We bought Earthbound on it. I have Monster Hunter 3, which I do not have enough time to play, but I'm very excited about. And we got Nintendo Land, we got Mario Kart, and everything that I've done on the Wii U has just been a fantastic experience. I love it to bits. Playing games on the gamepad and not even using the TV is the best feature. Even if I'm not using the TV, even if I just want to like curl up on the couch and do it just on the little screen, it's wonderful. So yeah, I am a PC gamer, but I love my Wii U a little bit. So I don't play it as much as I want to because it's in a different room and I'm usually just here with my stuff, but I love it. I guess I have a 3DS that I spend a lot of time on too. I'm kind of a Nintendo/PC thing. I've recently picked up, I bought Pokemon X when it came out and I've recently started playing it again and gotten much more into it this second time. I'm very excited about breeding some Pokemon and maybe getting into competitive stuff one day, one step at a time. So that has been my week. If you have any questions you would like answered on a Saturday vlog, just leave them as comments on this video and I will get to them, and yeah, let me know what you think, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!